Right, we are live for the Bring the Bars podcast. I'm your host, KC, and today we're bringing on another Lost Voice music member onto the show. I think this is the third one we've had so far, with Bobby Mercer, Bad Habit being the previous two, and this time we're bringing on Dana Coppafeel. I'm become a massive fan of this guy, his flow, his style, so unique to anything I've ever heard before, and he's just himself in the music, and you can tell with the music he showcases, and we have a great interview with Dana Coppafeel coming up. Uh, Everybody who's tuning in right now on Freedom K Radio, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. And if you missed previous episodes, you want to check them out, type Bring the Bars on YouTube. You can see our channel there. All older episodes are posted on there. So just hop on, subscribe to the channel if you like. And for those listening, thank you very much and enjoy the interview. But before I bring Dana Coppafeel on, I'm going to actually give you guys a little taste of his music. So I'm going to run a track from Dana Coppafeel, and I'm going to run Brock Lesnar. All right, run it.
Check. Yeah. Am I wrong? Cause I wanna push Mercedes-Benz. Have a swimming pool filled to the top with ends. Dive in, go swim like Scrooge McDuck. Listen up, fuck the system, son, this is us. It's so sexual, they love the way the kid bust. Ever since a youngin', you know I was chasing after fame. Even back then, to my homies, I was Dana Dang. I guess I'm gone daydreaming on these paper planes. My hustle's so unique, we ain't the same thing. Cut from a different cloth, please let me maintain. My Robinsons touch the ground and it start to rain. You gotta watch from the other side of the window plane. I don't give a fuck more or a fuck less. Food for thought and I ate it, let it digest. I'm in the kitchen whipping up this raw fresh. I'm living life, these visions on these vivid nights. I don't give a fuck more or a fuck less. Unless you in my way, halting up my progress. I'm in the studio whipping up this raw fresh. I'm living life, these visions on these vivid nights. I'm center stage, dancing under my city lights. I'm center stage, dancing under my city lights. Yeah. I'm in the studio, whipping up the raw fresh. My music bumping now, something like diaper rash. She pushed the 911 while we light the stash. We in the Trump Tower Plaza where she ride my stash. Let's keep it real, everybody get this cash. I reflect on the statement, then I start to laugh. Cause they try to hold you to standards you ain't got to have. Never get the half or cut the hoe. You wanna sum it up and throw in a couple lows. Fuck me in the bottom spot, all on your totem pole. We went from MTV to the Rolling Stone. I mean the globe, but shit, yeah, we told him so. I want the booty like the pirate when he spots the treasure. I'm stepping in the ring like I'm Brock Lesnar. You thinking you can stop the hustle? I'm like, nah, never. Lamping like a villain, chilling in my light leather boots. Knocking with my shorty, cause you know that she a troop. I don't give a fuck more or a fuck less. Unless you in my way, halting up my progress. I'm in the studio, whipping up this raw fresh. I'm living life, these visions on these vivid nights. I'm center stage, dancing under my city lights. I'm center stage, dancing under my city lights. Yeah. I'm in the studio, whipping up the raw fresh.
All right, so we are live now for episode 28 of the Bring the Bars podcast, and I am welcoming Dana Coppafeel to this episode. And I start off with the same question to everybody: is basically just introduce yourself for the listeners and tell them about your music and all the platforms they can find you at.
I go by the name Dana Coppafeel. I'm outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's pretty much where I'm from in rep. I've been doing music probably for like the last 20-something years. And you can catch me on every major platform from YouTube to Spotify, Apple Music, etc.
You were saying you've been doing this now for 20 years, so I kind of want to go to the start of it all. Like, what was the initial thing that motivated you to record your first song or made you fall in love with this whole rap genre?
I mean, it was kind of different periods. It kind of went through, transitional periods. So I think the first time that I really fell in love with hip hop or rap wise was through my guy Michael Mike Check and his older brothers. Pretty much, they were listening to a lot of rap, had like the Black Power posters, and Mike was a little younger than me. But we got into just freestyling through them, and that's kind of where it started. Then I moved from Illinois, where I'm originally from, Rockford. I moved to Milwaukee, and then by high school, got into like learning how to make beats, use 4 tracks, and this is like 94, 95. I started hanging out with this group we called ourselves the Rusty Pelicans, and we were just doing 4 track tapes of just demoing stuff. And I think around 96, we kind of flew out to LA from Milwaukee and recorded our first like demo on for vinyl. So we put out vinyl. So it's kind
Wow.
of been just kind of a metamorphosis, like just, transitional thing of where it kind of started. So by the time I got into Milwaukee and it was full swing, I kind of had a grasp on what we were doing, how it should be done. We were making a name in our city, um, you know, putting out records and touring, um, doing a lot of the big shows, opening in Milwaukee. So that's kind of like how it all kind of began, like from the transition from Rockford to Milwaukee. So freestyling and then learning how to write bars and then how to record and then how to make beats. And, you know, that was kind of detrimental to the growth.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's rare when I hear the story kind of like starting like that and you actually flying out to LA to record a mixtape. Like how are your nerves at that point, like flying out to LA? Like did you fly out just for that sole purpose as well to just, get
Yeah.
that mixtape recorded?
Yeah, well, it wasn't necessarily a mixtape. It was, at the time I was with this group called the Rusty Pelicans, and we were just out of high school. We had this manager named James, and he was kind of in the punk scene of Milwaukee and kind of was booking shows for this place called the Rave here in Milwaukee that brings a lot of hip hop acts. It's just like a big venue. They do a lot of big shows from metal to quinceañeras to big ballroom stuff, wrestling stuff. So it's kind of like one of the spots where there was hip hop, and they kind of tapped into locals for like openers and stuff like that, and we kind of solidified our rep through them. And we were bringing shows here, and James kind of was meeting people as we were bringing shows, so he wanted us to put out a vinyl, and we were doing like demos around town. We'd go to local studios. We had our own studio, but it was kind of like 4 track stuff, so we wanted to step it up, and we built a relationship with the Far Side around that time, and we opened up for a show for them here in Milwaukee at the Rave, and our manager kind of built a relationship with them, and so we ended up flying out to LA. Um, Me, my guys from the Rusty Peas, we went out there, Pelicans, Rusty Pelicans, and we went out to LA and we were recording in this studio in Hollywood, and we were pretty, what, like maybe like 18, 19 years old. So this was like our first like real experience. And on top of it, it's with like a group that we get to look up to or that we've looked up to, like the Far Side. She keeps passing me by, and they had a bunch of hits by this point, and they were working with Jay Dilla and Q-Tip, and they
Yeah.
had a lot of things going. So it was cool to like, this was our first experience. So yeah, the nerves were crazy. I ended up getting sick while we were down there. So that sucked. But yeah, nerves were crazy. It was insane because we're in the studio and Imani was there, Booty Brown was there, James Mansfield, who was their engineer, he was there, and he recorded a lot of big records for them, and just other artists like Master Ace and etc. So being in that studio was our first taste of like, yeah, this is fresh. This is how you do it. So we went and recorded like 3 songs to put out for a 12-inch for vinyl. So we could try to build our rep off of that, put our name out there. Because this is pre social media, before
Yeah.
the internet and all of that. So vinyl was a big thing and like making these real connections. So opening up locally and meeting artists at this time, it was a good way to solidify those relationships, without having social media, because no one knew what that was. It didn't exist at this time.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you're saying like 18 is when you kind of flew out, and a lot of people like they don't. You sounded like you really invested in yourself at a young age. Like this is what you set out to do, and you're gonna accomplish it. When did that like clue in your head? Like this is what I wanted to do? Because a lot of kids will start off, younger age, wanting to be a fireman or something like that. But by the sounds of you, it's like you had this passion for hip hop that like you were gonna do it regardless. To leave at 18 to fly out and to try this out, that takes a lot of balls to do it. So, like,
Well,
did you always have this aspiration, like, even at, like, 12, 13 years old kind of thing?
well, I mean, I was always, thought of myself as a creator, thinking of myself having a strong willpower, willing things into existence, manifesting those things. But at the same time, too, there was a lot of key things that happened and a lot of people that were around, to make those things happen. And so like people like James, who was older than us, he was probably in his 20, 23, 24 when we were 18. And he kind of went through this stuff and he had a vision. And James went on to do stuff like with Adele and live in Germany. And he did like he was hanging out with Adele before she became famous. And what's my guy's name that everybody loves? Thundercat. And it's crazy that so James kind of was like, and he's from Milwaukee, and he just kind of tapped in. So it's people like him and just building a team. And so these people motivated you. They put you in situations where you're like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Or, so the things just kind of happen that way. So, when you start realizing like what the power of the mind can do, and then when you can tap into it and then you realize how relationships are made, that those were key things. So it was just like, yeah, I mean, I came from nothing. I don't have a great background, never had shit around a bunch of heads that were just hustling, whether they were gang banging or dope dealing or what. I was never like a gang banger. I didn't fit into that. I wasn't really a dope dealer. I couldn't hate seeing people on crack. I'd sell some weed. I was just a hustler and around people. So when you see those things, you just had to like, all right, put things into perspective and be honest with yourself. You got to know you have to know where you should be and where you shouldn't, like I shouldn't be here. So I need to move around. You got to know those things and just be honest with yourself. So I think all of those things just aligned correctly to like, okay, this is how you tap in. This is how people can help you, but you have to put in the work too. So it was just,
Yeah,
yeah, so it's not just a one man thing. And that's what other people have to understand. It's like key people doing the right thing all at the right time. And then
absolutely.
this harmonious thing happens, but at the same time, you have to be honest about where you're at, where they're at, what you're doing and what they're doing too, and how do you contribute and how do you help where, because I mean, it's like we're all learning how to swim. And so while I'm learning how to swim, I can't really, go out and try to save a bunch of people because I'm trying to learn how to do this myself, so let me get to a point where I'm a lifeguard and then that's what I'm supposed to do. At this
I
point,
like that. I
I'm
like that
trying to swim.
analogy there.
You know, so I think that's the other thing you have to look at it. There's nothing wrong with being selfish either. You just have to know where to be at, where to post at, who to talk to. Who's full of shit, who isn't, and then just make sure that you can manifest that willpower.
All right, another little music break that we're going to take from the interview. Run another track from Dana Coppafeel, and this is Raid.
Yeah. I bet my girl rap harder than y'all. I bet she fresher than y'all. Midwest living, smoking trees in the front yard, chilling nowadays while you rappers gotta front hard. Making books while I'm laying down the trump card. My aim is done far, kill your king with one bar. Armed to the T, every verse is a gun charge. Plus my support system well like a lumbar. Looking through my past and I felt that I come far. Work too hard while you don't fuck subpar. It's not a verse about money, bitches, or some car. Wanna see the Porsche up close now, that's some car. Parked in the front yard, shit now I'm here again. Daydreaming on my porch of this life I'm living in. Pitching in a little weed, alcohol mix it in. Always push myself to the edge cause I get to then. Trying to trade my artwork in to make dividends. Rap kinda like crack cause I pitch it to make some rent. Right angles all day just to get you bent. Camping on my chick, yeah, she can pitch a tent. Shit hit hard like Richard Dent. And you the fish trying to swim through the wet cement. Copper killing the game with Meta 34s. You should be mad at yourself, you ain't up early more. Banging the score in a 94 Infinite. Windows tinted, got him gas like a pedal. Watch me push the limit.
Rappers are in danger.
Sleep, eat, shit, rap, y'all can't fuck with that.
Rappers are in danger.
Sleep, eat, shit, rap, y'all can't fuck with that.
Shit hit like fist in gorilla chest. I don't rap and I feel like I'm still the best. Been a vet, respect the lady that's in the dress. I ain't even got a presence on the internet. Fresh cut like Spinderella, she on the set. Roll my L with my nail polish soaking wet. A bad chick about handbags and fashion. Do the knowledge, now you know she's all about this rapping. You can catch me with Coppa, salute the captain. In the clutch with the clutch, bring the stash in. A dot, more wavier than a perm shop. On your A shot, make haste and hate not. We made an O since day one to stay hot. You're an accident waiting to happen like a straight shot. I need my mirror, I'm feeling fine like Morris Day. So you know the time before the chorus play.
Rappers are in danger. Rappers are in danger. Rappers are in danger. Rappers are in danger. Rappers are in danger.
I like that you brought up the whole team aspect of it because that's such an important part of all this. Is really who you surround yourself with, and it seemed like you surrounded yourself with people that really pushed you and motivated you, while at the same time you were probably pushing and motivating them too. And it's such an important aspect, which kind of leads to my next question here is, you know, you're a part of one of my favorite labels in this movement for sure, Lost Voice Music, and you surround yourself with that kind of crew of people who have the same mindset as you. How did this connection with Lost Voice Music come about?
Well, I've known Bobby for years. He's from Wisconsin, and you know we've talked back and forth. And over the last few years, Bobby's kind of flourished in what he was doing. He kind of uh, took took the advice that he was given. He kind of seen how things around him were moving, and then he was able to apply that to himself. And so I like the fact that he was able to do that. I was seeing the traction he was getting. He would come to me for a lot of design work. And so, you know, just having a relationship there, and then, you know, him talking to me about what his vision was and where he wanted to go and how he wanted to do it. And I had a project, you know, I was sitting on. And so I just kind of was like, what do you, you know, would you guys be interested in this? Because I was just going to put it out to put it out. It didn't matter because I feel like, you know, I just turned 44. I'm at this stage where I've done a lot of everything that I have with my music. And so I was telling Bobby, this is either my first project with you guys or my last project with you guys, you know, so it just got to figure out how it's going to happen. And it just kind of worked out. They're a great team. Bobby, you know, he has a vision. He heard what I wanted to do and where I wanted to take it. And, you know, so he cultivated that, and that's been great, you know. So it's just kind of something just kind of naturally happened over like the last 6 months or so, you know.
Yeah, good crowd to fall in with. Like, I've interviewed Bobby on here before, and his mind is set to his certain goals and everything. I can see what he saw with your music as well, because with you, I find you have such a unique flow, and like even your song titles and topics are so unique. I've never heard anything like this before in a lot of it. And like even if you're on a track, let's say a cipher, I can tell that I can pick you out of the 9 artists in the cipher just because you have that unique standout voice. And this style you kind of have, is this something you started off with, or you kind of obtained over time working on your flow and your style?
Well, I mean, just growth. I've always been like, you know, I'm a 90s kid. I was born in the 70s, but 90s because that's to me like the golden era of hip hop. And that's really the time where I started getting into like actually making it, learning how to craft it. So that's like a real important time. And I've always like gravitated to the more simple kind of boom bat, backpack, rap. That's the type of stuff I like. So, I not really into trapping and I'm not really into drug dealing. I don't really make, music for the whips or potheads. I try to,
Yeah.
it's a little bit of, I smoke pot. Yeah. I like potheads to listen to I think my style is more like, I just like to kind of like mess with double entendres and words. And, I just kind of like to play off that and use my voice a little bit because I get a lot of compliments on it. And so, I kind of want to just find my niche. Because anytime I ever do stuff like this is always where people really gravitate to that stuff that I make of that, so it's just that's I'm just a boom bat 90s backpacking rap kid. I like words, metaphors, like I like chicks, but I got a great one at the crib. I try to rap from what I've really been from and been through. So, that's just kind of my standpoint. I mean, not really like a gun wielding, bucking fools. I'm not like, so I had to, I'm trying to be honest with my craft. Like, what am I, like, what do I want to hear? Or, what made me get into music, what first made me want to rap. I want to go back to that feeling where it wasn't like, before social media, before it's like doing it for likes or spamming people with my stuff. Like, if you
Yeah.
know, I want, if that's great. If you're with it, I love that. But I'm not like, it's hard for me to just cram shit down people's throats, because I don't like, it's not about attention for me. It's more just like, this is my craft and I'm sharpening my sword in case, just in case some, you know,
Yeah, it's
stuff.
crazy. You can hear it in your music. Like you're saying, you're just pretty much being true to yourself. You're not being fake, and it comes through because as listeners also of music, people can pick up on that. I find when you're playing a character, you're not playing yourself, and that's something myself I learned over time because when I started, I played up a character. Then I realized like everybody's seeing through that, so I just got to be myself in this thing. And it seems like you got that down pat. You know why you're doing it, kind of who you're doing it for, and like you said, you're not rapping about the gang life and stuff like that. You're just having fun with the words, and you just sound like you're having so much fun on a beat all the time.
I mean, I'm just trying to give you this rap, I'm just like, it's, it's like hip hop rap music. It's like always been, it's my girlfriend. It's a big deal to me. So, it's more of like, it's the art of that more than anything. I just
Mm.
rap about rapping. That's really what my style is, I guess. It's fun to me, and so at the same time, I try not to take it serious, but, I want to give you like, I like to sprinkle gems, like put a little gems here and there. So like when you listen to it, it's like really, like I said, double entendres and word plays where things kind of have double meanings. And I like stuff like that. Like some of my favorite artists are like, I grew up on Wu Tang, Rock Marciano, Freddie Gibbs,
Yeah.
Conway the Machine, Action Bronson. These are the type of things that I like. That's the type of rap I gravitate towards. Currency, like those. that, I love that type of beat. I love those type of flows.
Yeah, and you're talking about your girl being important to you and how you love the double entendres. I actually got a question from my girl that she wanted me to ask you on this podcast. Actually, was she saw your video Pancakes? She absolutely loves your music, and she was just curious, how long did it take you to whip up all those pancakes, and if you even did it yourself?
No, we did not. So the guy who did the video, my guy Evan, big ups to Evan. I moved like out of Milwaukee just over summer, and so I live in this town in between Madison, Wisconsin, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So it's like dead center in between those. But anyways, I moved out to this place. Evan, my guy, did the video. He's just real eager and excited, and I was like, hey, I have a song called Pancakes. I sent it over to him. I was like, are you interested in doing a video? I know you talked about it. You shot some pictures for me. So, and he just came back all ecstatic with this idea. So what he did is went to Sam's Club and just bought like a bunch of pancakes, pre-made pancakes. Like, I really only made one out of the whole video shoot. I made like one pancake, I think. Just one pancake. That's all.
The one
I
that
made.
starts off with you putting it in the pan, I guess, when you're actually putting the batter down.
Yeah, that is the only pancake I made. We just did the one. So yeah, we had all these frozen pancakes. I think they were all frozen or half frozen too. I mean, he bought like 20 boxes. I think there was probably like 200 pancakes there. I can't even recall. It was a lot.
Yeah, that's what you wanted me to ask. Like, how long did it take him to set up that set? But Pancakes
he
is
did
available.
it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it pretty quick. He's just like, boom, let's get it. So we were using toothpicks to keep them stacked correctly. And then we only the other thing that we used too was motor oil instead of like actual syrup.
Yeah.
Parts. So like the only part we use syrup is where I'm actually pouring syrup, and then the other parts is motor oil. So that's how that was done.
That's awesome. It's like, when you hear any food commercial, right? All the dressing is on the burger and stuff. It's all makeup artists touching it up. And
Right.
I guess the motor oil looked much better than what the syrup would have on camera, really.
Yeah, that was Evans. He's like, yeah, this is what I read. So I was like, whatever you want to do, it's you're the master of your art. So if that's what you want to do, let's go for it, So it worked, I guess. It looks fresh. It was fun.
All right, quick little break to run some more music from our guest today, Dana Coppafeel. And we mentioned it earlier. He has a video of it on YouTube, on his YouTube channel, Dana Coppafeel. It's on his Low Wi-Fi EP that is on Bandcamp right now, danacoppafeel.bandcamp.com. And I'm going to run the track Pancakes.
Yeah, check it. Yeah, I flip a verse like a pancake. Yeah, I flip a verse like a pancake. My chips in line, how I connect for. I've been the dope, so what do I need a connect for? My future bright, the only thing that I invest more. Your animals is getting touched now like a pet store. Vex more of this bullshit, I can't stress more. Press forward, looking fresh, Lord. Praying hand emojis. My haters wanna smoke me. I'm pushing hard, now they wanna quote me. Or box me in, try to rope and dope me. You better all scope me. Keeping your distance like you come from Skokie. Claiming you from the city, then come and show me. I'm low key, you use technology like you low-key. Building with the older guys from the knowledge daddy showed me. Yeah, I flip a verse like a pancake. And you can tell that they fake from their handshakes. We get the bands from the plans laid, cruising the landscape. My cut covered like a band-aid. And I can spot a phony eating on my abalone. Shit going crazy since the minute that they asked my story. I'm on the path to glory, the Valhalla, and that shit'll really happen for me. And I'm just passing 40. I out-rap any rapper in my category. I avoid he's on the track, just asking for me. You in the penthouse, right? That shit a half a story, like your half a story. Apply pressure so they can't ignore me. And love is cheap, but they can't afford me. It's all facts, however, an allegory. Cause I'm back like the cats that came before me. We killing rap and it's getting and gory. I flip a verse like a pancake, and you can tell that they fake from their handshakes. We getting bands from the plans laid, cruising the landscape. My cut covered like a band-aid. Yeah, my cut covered like a band-aid. Yeah, my cut covered like a band-aid.
Yeah, it looked like you guys had a blast with that track. And Pancakes is available on low Wi-Fi. That's on Bandcamp for anybody listening who wants to check it out. Dana Coppafeel at bandcamp.com. The low Wi-Fi project, was this the project you were talking about with Bobby Mercer that you kind of put together? Like, how did the title of this come about and the whole process of the EP come about with low Wi-Fi?
Well, I've been working on low Wi-Fi before the pandemic hit for a little while. I've been working on it for a while, and it first was started off as a project called Halal Milkshake, which was like a contradicted kind of thing that I thought was funny, like a blessed milkshake. That's great because I love milkshakes, you know, and then I like halal food, and so it's just funny, nevertheless. But low Wi-Fi just kind of began from that. I had a bunch of songs, and I recorded a few songs to different beats, and then it came to a point where, you know, I just kind of lost connection with the scene, Milwaukee, and you know, I wasn't really into doing shows, and you know, I wasn't really. I was more just like I just kind of want to do some music and put it out, and then you know maybe I'll be done. You know, maybe I'll put together a collection or work on a collection, or you know, I just kind of what should I do? And then as we are working on it, the producer, my guy Charlie Cooks, you know, we just kind of started. He started getting into the low Wi-Fi. Lo-fi hip hop kind of stuff. And so we just started going from there. I was just writing like maybe 3 songs I recorded to different beats or 4. And then I started writing to YouTube beats just whenever. So some songs I might have wrote to like 2, 3 beats, like Pancakes. I wrote to like 3 different beats. And when I went into the studio with my guy Charlie, just kind of like, what are we gonna work on? And I say, so I wrote this, and I play on a few beats, and you get the tempo in, and we might have downloaded a beat, or we had downloaded a beat sometimes from YouTube, or we would he would just on the spot just kind of match the tempo, and then he would remake something that would just totally fit. So a lot of almost every beat on there, except for the remix ones, none of those beats I wrote to any of those songs. So a lot of those beats that are on there, well, I just heard them right when we came into the studio. So it's like, boom, he made them, or we recorded to a YouTube track, and then a week later he had sent me the song, and it's a whole different beat on there, you know, in the vibe that we were looking for. So it was the idea at that point, you know, I just really like the lo-fi hip hop kind of vibe, and it seemed like that's where we were going, and me kind of like losing or just kind of having like a low connection to the scene. So, you know, I was just calling it like the Wi-Fi's low, or, you know, I moved out of Milwaukee, and just, you know, it was like going to be an album at first, you know, maybe like 16 tracks, and it's going to be my last album. And then I was like, hey, maybe I'll just break it up into 2 EPs, and then put it out that way. That way it can kind of give it some longevity, and maybe, you know, people will convince me, or maybe I might be feeling like doing something, and that gives me some more time to kind of set myself up to make more music, you know, kind of figure out with my situation, um, you know, get a studio set up at the house, because I don't have that. I would just always go to Charlie Cook's, and I don't really have that outlet as much as I used to. He's doing things. He just signed a huge production deal, so he's focused on that a lot, and he hasn't really been recording as much as he used to. So it's kind of like I have to kind of change what I was doing, and so I just had these albums, and I've been living where I have been for almost a year, a little under a year, and it's just kind of disconnect because it's a small town. I've always lived in a big city, and
That's
that's
creative, man. When you brought that up, I wasn't thinking that at all. But what a creative concept, like the losing connection. I didn't look at it like that. Now you brought it up. That's once again your love of kind of playing on words and stuff, and playing on the meaning, and that's very creative, man. Mad props to you on thinking of that. And you were saying how you had songs on different beats and stuff. That I think a lot of that too, because you said you started off freestyling, so that probably helped you out to like fit the same words but on different beats. I remember hearing, I forget what the interview was, but ODB actually had a few songs out with different beats, but the exact same lyrics on all three
yeah.
songs. But people didn't realize that it was the same lyrics. And did like your freestyling play a part in that? And also, I remember tuning into your Instagram live one time, and you were doing freestyles for the audience. Very impressive. So, do you freestyle a lot of your lyrics, or is it written down? And like, is it all written down?
It depends. I mean, a lot of times, like I have done songs that where I'll go in and freestyle some stuff, but most of the time it's like written. But how a lot of things happen is I'm in the car driving, and I might be in the car driving to Milwaukee, and that's like an hour drive plus, and all of a sudden something will hit me, and I'll start memorizing what I'm spitting in my head and kind of go over it. And by the time I get to Milwaukee, and get the park and write all of this stuff down, I got 14 bars right there. So it's kind of like a mixture of that sometimes, or coming back to it. But I freestyle almost daily. It's always been something I love to do just off the top. It's something that where I started at, and I just like think it's a lost art nowadays. I mean, I know there's some incredible people that can do it, but in in my day it was like a big deal, like to just boom the beat plays, rock out, have battles, sharpen your sword. And so it doesn't play as big a part as I would like it to, but once I get my own setup, I think then it's just me learning to record my freestyle. And I think that's the one thing that I need to do and tap into. My phone's going crazy. Let me just turn that off right there. So yeah, I mean, freestyling is a big thing for me. It's a daily thing. I'll go to like YouTube, or go to a certain producer, just like while I work on art, I'll just let the beats play. And while I'm working on art, I'll freestyle. Sometimes that'll happen for a few hours. When I go live, which is very rare because I'm not like this huge attention seeker, or check me out, I'll try to incorporate some freestyles, have a few drinks in me. I don't want to get too self-conscious because that kind of ruins it sometimes. So it's fun. It's a fun thing to do. So I love it. I wish I could tap more into it while making songs. I think that's going to be something enjoyable to do as I evolve as far as recording myself and mastering this new art.
Yeah, like you said, once you get that kind of home setup going, it'll definitely be a lot easier for you to even like freestyle over many beats while recording yourself doing it. So I think that would be good. So I can see you even doing like a freestyling EP, every track kind of. Because I only tuned in on the one you did, and yeah, you impressed the hell out of me, man. I can tell you had practice with it, and like you said, such a lost art, really, and it helps people out so much in different ways of trying to fit onto beats, especially. It's an important one, and just being able to uh go and grab those lines out almost like seems like out of nowhere to fit it into what you want to fit it into. So props to you on that, man, because I saw
Thank
that
you,
live
thank you.
and you're good at that.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. It's just fun. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. Not every freestyle is fire. You have
Oh
horrible
yeah,
days.
absolutely.
You have some horrible days, but there's good and the bad. Hopefully, they're all good when I'm live. That's the fingers crossed of it all. Knock
But
out
then, like
wood.
you said, you're doing it for the fun of it and the love of it, and like people can see that and hear that when you're doing it just for the fun. Even if you stumble or screw up, you know, you don't
Yeah.
end it and it's like, oh damn it, like you just continue going on with it and let it ride out. And
Yeah,
so
right. A beautiful fall,
exactly, it's how you get back up after the stumble. You know, everybody fumbles once in a while, especially on a freestyle too. That's hard a lot of the times, especially if you go for a long period of time doing it.
Yeah. It's fun. It's just a good, extra a good way of just sharpening that sword, I'd like to say.
Yeah,
That's
keeping the mind fresh on it for sure, and
yeah.
keep getting those creative juices flowing constantly. Like you said, you do it daily, so that helps out probably so much in your brain to just keep the creative juices flowing on it.
Well, it just helps with a lot of things, I mean, passes time. And then, when I'm working on art, it's just a way of getting my mind to exercise, getting those mental calisthenics going.
Yeah,
So, it's and it also helps with writing too, like as you might come up with like I said, a lot of times I just will start freestyling and realize that, oh man, I just remembered those 8 bars. That's a dope freestyle. And then like now I'm making a song and get home and find a beat that's matching, and then all right, now I'm tapped in. I can get back to this later. I saved this, and then all right, I'll get into my zone and tap in. I always have a bunch of stuff kind of started in the notepad, and then I'll come back later to it or different times and just kind of jump around. I don't really try to make too much serious songs because I feel like I've already done that. I'm just trying to just rap. I just like the art of rapping, and that's what I want to make my stuff about.
well, it shows through on your music, man, and I appreciate you sending me the low Wi-Fi album too. By the way, I ran it through Bandcamp a few times before this interview, and I appreciate you sending it that my way because I still put music on CDs, man, for my car in the CD player. So I appreciate you sending that my
Oh
way.
man, that's fresh. No, no, not a problem, man. I mean, hey, it reached a good home. That's all I care about. I mean, I'm just happy that, you want to listen to it and you're gonna put it on the CD and bump it in the whip. That's huge. That's dope.
All right, now it's time for Random Bars. This is a segment of the show where one lucky member of the Bring the Bars Facebook group. If you're an artist yourself, type Bring the Bars on Facebook. We have a group there. It's a networking group. You can share your music, and maybe one day you can get on the radio with me here on Freedom K Radio on the podcast. But we do a draw also. It's called Random Bars, where one lucky member gets randomly chosen to have one of their tracks aired during an episode of the show. And this week, our winner was an artist by the name of Bar Doc, and he sent me his song, Bonkers. So I'm going to run it, Bonkers by Bar Doc.
Pando killed the beat.
Ill-witted and ill-fitted, but ill shit it's insane the way my brain deals with it. I maintain and aim and still hit it. I still get it. I'm holding it together like steel rivets. I'm building it. A 747 can kill it if it was drilling it. No matter how villainous, let's be real with it. I could fucking babble and prattle and yammer on about Babylon, Atlantis, lost Santa Claus, satanic dogs, break the scatter shot, then I'm racking off, you whacking off, crack across the face and then snap your jaw. Who's laughing now? You're boofing all your booze, Brett Kavanaugh. We cats and dogs, your pussies in the booth, and I'm savage on it, you can't ignore it. I'm at your porch and I'm standing on it, I'm reaching for your door, you panic when heard the tapping on it. Standing on your neck and then stamping and put my padding on it. It's catastrophic, you catatonic, I catalog it. You can't stop it, this man's bonkers, he may have lost it. Off his rocker with soccer marbles, he may have tossed him. Screw loose, he done chewed the boots through, and he's nude and on the loose to boot too. Excuse you, he screams out as he scoots through in moon boots. A whack job that'll cap off and trash talk all the damn cops at a standoff. Like all you damn cops at your fat moms is back off.
There appears to be another officer-involved shooting at a local recording studio in Spokane, Washington. We are getting reports of a nude man armed with what appear to be finger guns and a pen. Officers involved claim they had no choice but to fire when the suspect charged them with the alleged weapons. Oh my God, he's getting up.
Risen from the ashes, this man standing with hand cannons. haphazardly blasting, causing a mass panic. You rappers having me laughing, I'll take a stab at it. You like a bat and just whack at it, we can't have it. I bring my action and hack at it, you crack addicts. Better beat it, I'm bad as Michael Jackson. I'm deadly as a crap, they might have handed him bananas as buckets of monkey shit. I'm a nugget, is who you fucking with, come and get it, you sons of bitches. Puppy suck it, snuggle on mother's titties and muzzling me, acting all befuddled with studying me like what was he and how'd he come to be in the shape that he's in. We came around to see him a straight jacket laces. I pace around the ceiling and think about the things that I hate. Without him breathing, I rape without a reason, like steak without a season. It's plating beef and they hate me cause it can't be as tasty as savory beefcake. Eating your cheesesteak, kill 3 plates. I'm 5-star on your cheap dates, on free skates, high speed chasing the freeway through 3 states. These days I'm beast made and gon' be slayed by these lames. The weak games can't rhyme, rhythm or refrain to be saved. For Pete's sakes, and I'm fucking forgot my cheesecake.
We are now getting reports of a high-speed chase on I-90 just outside of Spokane city limits. It appears local PD and state troopers are in pursuit of a blue pickup truck dragging what appear to be corpses on roller skates behind it. We cannot confirm the identity of the driver or the bodies at this time. For more details as the case unfolds, stay tuned.
Bringing bars like I'm building pubs and filling cups up with psilocybin and cyanide and killing them. Billing us leaving wide-eyed and chilled as I stride by like drive-bys, duck, dip, dodge, and dive. I'm still leaving them sideline while my grind hit them from blind sides in hindsight. Wasn't the right fight in the night, pen is so knife-like it might slice. Simply OJ when I write, I murder the beat like my wife and flee like bye guys and see it like I spied. The beat is like a puzzle, the lyrics are like the pieces. I put that shit together, I pull it apart and eat them. So fold it, I excrete and go full retard and eating. Got no regard for people, been told that I'm evil. So long that I believe in so long, but I ain't leaving so long that I am breathing so often I repeat it.
Pando killed the beat.
You know, this whole interview, we talked a lot about, Dana Coppafeel, the artist. And I want to just ask a little question as you as a person outside the music. What's important to you in life outside the music? And like, what kind of hobbies do you have outside of this whole rap persona of Dana Coppafeel, you as a person?
Well, I mean, I believe in integrity and loyalty. I believe in the forgotten art of, that code, the G code, street code, whatever, like there's just certain things you have to hold yourself a certain way, and I think respect and integrity are huge to me. I think trust and like is another huge thing to me. So that's the type of person, and that's really some of my values. I'm a family man. I got 2 kids, and I really live an artist life. Most of my hobbies is really making music or writing raps, and sometimes I don't record that. I just might write stuff to just practice the art of. And I'm a graphic designer, so I do a lot of that at the house, and making album art for people, doing logos, making T-shirt designs for people, or stuff for apparel companies. I've worked with a bunch of politicians, taking photos and doing yard signs and making mail ballots for them, or literature they would call, where they mail that stuff out, or where they come to your door and hand it out. I've done a lot of that. So, a lot of art is huge for me. And then my other hobby is I go out thrifting a lot. I like to go thrifting and resell stuff. That's fun. Mainly like clothes and old sports apparel and things like that. So me and my girlfriend do that together. Sometimes the kids get involved, and we just try to find 90s and 80s stuff, or anything that we think we could resell or that we might just like. And then I'm getting into screen printing, so I'm going to learn how to do that over the summer out the house, and maybe learn how to get myself recorded correctly. And those are the type of things. I'm just kind of a simple person. And I just have simple values, and like that's kind of me in a nutshell. Artist,
Yeah, you can tell that you're just you kind of know where you stand in life and what's important to you and your values as a person. And just even talking to you today, you can tell like how humble you are with everything and how you really appreciate the respect aspect of everything. And you give it out, you get it in return, and you put positivity in the world. Positivity will come back at you, and you're an artist in every sense of the word. Because I actually wanted to touch on this before we hit the last segment of the show. Was your graphic design? Is if anybody wants an album cover or anything like that, any sort of graphic designs, how would they go about reaching you to get your help on that?
They can go to Instagram, Coppacover at Coppacover. So that would be Coppacover. Coppacover, come copy a cover from the man Coppafeel. If you hit me up and you're hearing this, from my man right here, if you hear this, hit me up. Let me know. I'll give you a discount rate. For the love of just listening to the man's show. So that's what I want you to do, I guess.
Perfect. Yeah, I've seen your work, man, and mad props to you on it. You're great at it. So everybody, make sure you hit him up if you need anything done. I'm looking at the time. We're going to hit the last segment of this show now, and it's a segment I do with all my guests, and it's called Name Your Bars.
Okay.
Basically, I got 5 of your songs right here in front of me and a couple bars of each one of those songs. So I'm going to just read the bars out to you. No flow,
Okay.
no beat or nothing. And I want you to see if you can guess which song these bars are from.
All right. This sounds fun.
All right. First one is short days, long nights, hindsight, dope minds in the notebook. All right.
I don't know, God. I know that verse, but I don't know the song. The hindsight, long days or night, long days, short nights. Yeah, I don't know. Because sometimes I'll say that in a freestyle. So like my written lyrics will get jumbled in. So you hit me. What is it?
That one is Paper off the Paper remix.
Oh, the paper. Duh. I should know that. Something new. Watch me not know none of this. Like,
Short days, long nights, on site, dope lines in the notebook, all white.
All right. Very few actually have gotten 5 out of 5, man. So don't worry if you miss a few. All right. Second one here is you thinking you can stop the hustle? I'm like, nah, never. Lamping like a villain, chilling in my light leather boots.
knocking with my shorty because you know that she a troop. Is that Brock Lesnar?
Yes, it is. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
You thinking you can stop the hustle? I'm like, no, never. Lamping like a villain, chilling in my light leather boots, knocking with my shorty because you know that she a troop.
All right. And we got the third one here. My rap style's off the wall. I'm off in a mall. I only made one coffin for y'all.
Only made one coffee for y'all. That's one time, I think.
Yes,
time.
it is.
My rap style off of the wall, I'm off in the mall. I only made one coffin for y'all. You move wrong, watch out.
So you're 2 for 3, man. Doing pretty good. Let's see if you can keep it going for the final 2.
All right.
This one's actually a shorter one. Is I be the dope cooking it up because they need it, bro.
I'm the dope and cook it up. I just was listening to that, but I don't know. I know it's off of Lo-Fi. I'm pretty sure.
That one is never ending.
Yeah, never ending. Cook it up because they need it, bro. Be the dope.
I be the dope, cook it up because they need it, bro. To tell the truth, cause I'm still hungry. Casino nights and I'm still.
We're gonna go to the 5th and final one here. Is suckers gonna hate when you demonstrate you great.
Oh man, suckers gonna hate when you demonstrate you're great. God, what is that from? That's a little older right there. That is not on low Wi-Fi. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
No, this is an older one.
All right. God, what is that? I know it's from. It has to be from the Vince with me and Vince, the album with me and Vincent Van Great. Thinking that's where it's from. What song is it?
That song is That's Me.
Yeah. Oh no, that is. Oh yeah, Vincent is on there. He does the hook. Yeah, the Rego joint. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suckers gonna hate when you demonstrate you great. From the jump, I was straight. Full of myself, still ache. Gotta play. I was scraping off back when 88 was taking.
There you go, man. You only missed a couple, so
No, that's good. I didn't know a few of those. I didn't know the newer ones, that's for sure, or the older one. So,
yeah, you knew the flow and everything to it, and even like the line after it is just hard to pinpoint. Like, okay, what the hell song was that on?
right, it's out of context. Ah,
All right, man. That was the show. Bring the Bars. We had Dana Coppafeel coming in. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for doing this. I had a blast talking with you. You're a humble person, and I hope everything works out well for you, man. You seem like you're doing good for yourself. So thank you for coming on.
no, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, man, and I'm glad that you guys have me on Bring the Bars. I'm glad to be a part of it. And you know, keep me posted on everything. I love to stay tapped in, know what's going on. And once again, if you guys are out there listening, hit me up on my IG for Coppa Cover. I'll hook you up. Say hey, bring the bars, and you'll get a discount. That's what I'll do to anybody that's listening to this. So I think that that's fair and love. So holler at the kid.
Perfect and exclusive, right? Bring the Bars when you send him the message, and he'll give you a discount on it.
Right, there you go. That's all you have to do. And then that's how I know you're listening. Like, oh man, like, if 2, 3 people hit me up, or 4 or 5, or more than how many, it's dope that, whatever comes. It's a dope experience, and I appreciate you sharing your time with me.
Of course, man. Same to you. And I know you said earlier that with Lost Voice, it'd either be your first or your last album. I hope it's not your last, because you got a true fan out of me. So I hope to hear
I
much more from
appreciate it.
you.
Well, I do got part 2. Low Wi-Fi 2 is gonna be happening. I mean, it's all done. So it's low Wi-Fi and low Wi-Fi 2 were all done at the same time. So that's coming probably early fall, late summer, for sure. So, and there's really no remixes on that one. So I don't know. I think part 2 is I like it a little more than part 1. But yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Can't wait, man. All right. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day, man.
All right, you too. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Before we end this off, I always end it with a few tracks from the guest and the episode. So Dana Coppafeel, I'm going to run a couple tracks from him, Plans, and it's going to end by I Think I'm Doing Something. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I was your host, Casey. Dana Coppafeel was on deck. So thank you very much. Stay safe out there. Peace.
Yeah, I got plan. I got plan. I got plan. I got plans, power movements, get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I might lose it. I got plans, power movements, get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I might lose it. I got plans, power movements, get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I might lose it. I got plans, power movements, get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I might lose it. I'm over heads like koofies, wanna give you the new me. Rolling paper airplanes, leaving these thoughts on loose leaf. The only question, who he? Killing them softly like the Fugees or Lauryn Hill. I want the foreign still, and you could read all these subs like a foreign film. Sick since a youngin', I was born ill. Leaving my ice, that's more than chill. The shit I spit, yeah, more than real. Feel it in your chest, cause you know the deal. We in the field, make it stretch like a $250,000. Ride the beat like a Porsche, I'm more than thrilled. I make it feel like it's my time. You could try, but I bet you can never stop my shine. I'm in my second childhood whenever I rhyme. Professor X used the power of my mind. That shit you kick is whack, and it's mad feeble. X your men out like comics with Magneto. I got plans, power movements, get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I might lose it. I got plans, power movements, get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I might lose it. I got plans, power movements, get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I might lose it. I got plans, power movements, get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I might lose it. In everything that I do, I'ma do the best. They didn't know me, but the story, yeah, they knew the rest. Meditate like a monk out in Budapest. Couldn't care less, I'm really who say they are next. I show and prove I'm focused on what mood to flex. I'm due to press, it's full chord and unisex. Anyone can get it, I'm guessing that you is next. I send it like a text the minute the button's pressed. My shit's fresh, it's been one, I've been less. The truth ripping through your thin vest. Shots from the index, pull from whatever my pen sketch. They couldn't sense less, cause they senseless. I'm off the benches, caught up in the trenches. Give a fuck about mentions, outclassed like the tension. Fourth down in inches, they never really get it. Touchdown in my zone, we gon' win it like I got plans, power movements, get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I might lose it. I got plans, power movements, get on some rude shit. I keep living like this, I might lose it. I got plans.